Welcome, everyone. This is a quick review of what we have done in the mitochondria. We imagine the cell as our house. We imagine the nucleus as the center where all the electric wires are connected, is controlling every room in the body, every room in the house, and all the messages that are going from there. That's the nucleus. And nucleus, in our case, center is in our cells that controls the genes. Genes are something that are coming from the parents to children, the children. They transfer all the genetic information, and that's the nucleus part. And that's the one type of DNA. The DNA is the material that is mostly stored in the nucleus. However, there's another type of DNA called mtDNA, mitochondrial DNA. It's a little different DNA. And that DNA has a function of energy production. So that's the difference that you think understand. And that's the DNA that is in say, for example, in my case, I'm in the basement and I have the whole unit for the heating, cooling, and air conditioning. Everything is located down there. Control is in a different room, but this is a different area. And that's what mitochondria is. And it's not just one. If I had multi-level heating, I would have more than one unit. And that's what cell is very, very smart. And I can't do with one unit. One unit will not be enough. So they have many, many mitochondria in every cell. And therefore, we talked about that. And actually, thousands of mitochondria. And the more energy is required in a house, the more number of units you need. The bigger the house, bigger the number of units you need. And that's why there are so many mitochondria in each cell. We talked about that. The highest number of mitochondria that we see in a concentrated fashion, is in the heart. In the heart is about 5,000 or so, approximately 5,000. And then we have liver is also high. Brain is extremely high, except it is dependent upon the amount of activity. All the organs and everything else, muscles also have. Mitochondria are also high because muscle also have activity high, and heart is a muscle. Same way we talked about is the skin is less. And we also talk about the highest number of mitochondria, which is the female. And I declared yesterday that the entire world is feminine. Entire world is feminine. There's no existence of male, without the female energy. It's not even possible. And that's because the DNA, the mtDNA, mitochondrial DNA, goes from the mother to the son or the daughter. And the son who gets to be a man cannot transmit that mitochondria through progenation, or when he impregnates his wife, cannot go. His DNA, mitochondrial DNA, cannot go down to the children. It is the mother who transmits everything. And therefore, the sperm has only like 50 or 70 mitochondria. Whereas the ovum, the ovocyte, has 100,000 to 600,000. It's a big package that the good Lord gives and transmits through the mother. And that's why the mother nurtures that. And out of that whole distribution, you can imagine that she has to distribute 100,000, 600,000 into all different organs for the baby. You can think about that. So 6,000 something here, something here. You have to distribute it. So that's why she has to start with a huge amount of mitochondria. And mitochondria is the one which is developing a significant amount of energy for the growing fetus. Now, one aspect yesterday that I wanted to say is the fact that red blood cells, RBCs do not have any mitochondria. Wow, wonder. When the cell does not have a mitochondria, what happens? How does the cell survive without the mitochondria? The mitochondria is the energy producing area. Well, I'll tell you, they depend upon these two cycles we talked about. Glucose comes in, and with good amount of oxygen, there are 36 to 38 units of ATP. ATP is the unit, is the currency we talk about. the high currency. And we also talk about ADP and ADP. Now, RBCs survive on the other mechanism, which uses very little oxygen, because they're supposed to carry the oxygen. If supposing your Amazon delivery guy opened the box and took out some of the stuff while he was delivering, what do you think will happen? You'll complain, right? It's not the way it happens. They have to deliver everything. They have to deliver a lot more, and even sometimes they have to deliver more if they ask more. Oh, okay, Amazon guy comes. Oh, okay, you have something else more in the van. I also need it, and they have something more. They deliver it. That's the system that we have in the body, not the Amazon delivery. Because when the cells want more, this RBC said, okay, well, listen, there's a good condition, I'll give you more. Isn't that fascinating? That's all created by the way it works. Now, and the cells, therefore, RBCs are unique that way. And when we go to the next one is, we talked also ADP and ATP, they get converted. ATP is like, let's say it's a fully charged battery. And ADP is a partially charged battery of a cell. Rechargeable, they are all rechargeable. So go back and forth, ATP to ADP, it releases energy, ADP to ATP, it creates less energy. So this is the basis that we did. We had a lot of numbers about heat and everything else yesterday we covered. And I just wanted to cover this before we went to the next level. But recognize this, that in all energy cycle, in energy medicine, we have to, first of all, we have to create energy. We have to have energy source, that's number one. We have to have some unit that actually produces energy, which in this case is mitochondria. And it's only mitochondria. Now, in plant cells also there are mitochondria, but they use sunlight, photosynthesis, and water and everything else. But you require the raw material to create the energy, different types of energy, you already know that. And the raw material is created, and then the unit that creates the energy. And then the next one is distribution and where it goes and use of it. The energy has to be enough. The energy used to be generated continuously. The energy has to be distributed properly. There should not be block of anywhere. If you have a water pipe, say water pipe or the electricity coming in, if you have something in between, there's a block or something, your lights will not turn on. And that's why in our system also, the light will not go on. We often say light bulb is not up there because we're not thinking. But same thing happens with the heart, same thing happens with the other organs. So we have to have energizing every area of the body. When you have so therefore the conducting area for the energy is also important. And we'll talk about that. We'll practice that today, so we'll know. So let's conclude this introduction part.